see in our previous task, in our previous work, we have used labels here, and not only labels, I can use other things also, like I can use we have used labels here. Not only labels, I can use something like either I can use H1 to H6 I can use, or paragraph I can use. There is something called span. Span I can use, or label I can use. Which is recommended to use out of all these things? This label is recommended to use. There is a reason for that. There is a reason for that. What is that reason? The reason is in the forms, if you use label, this is screen read compatible. Screen reader compatibility. Instead of using H1 to H6 or paragraph or span, use label, that is screen reader compatibility. This is the first point. And the second point and important point is, there is a possibility that if you click on this label, this particular that relative input can be highlighted. Now let me show you an example. What is the for this English? This is the input, right? So now if I click on it, I want it to highlight this. That functionality I wanted to do it. Let me show you. That is possible with the label only. Now here, what I am doing. Here I am giving for this English. I am giving ID equal to English, and now this is the ID I am using. Now what I will do for this label, there is a prop called HTML for is equal to, I am giving this. So for this label, I am giving this input ID as a HTML for, right. Now if I see the difference, I will be understanding it. Now observe here, if I click on this English, are you able to see it is highlighting or not? Have you observed the difference? Now see here, I am clicking on maths, this is not highlighting, social, this is not highlighting, science, this is not highlighting, Hindi, this is not highlighting, Telugu, this is not highlighting. But observe here, if I roll over on English, this is highlighting, and if I click on it, this is also coming. This is the advantage of using label. You cannot achieve this using H1 to H6 or paragraph or span. That's why it is recommended to use a label, and it is screen reader compatible and focuses on input, on click, highlights input. That is the advantage of using this. Now I wanted to do the same thing for remaining also. For the second input, I will give name ID Telugu input, and the same name I use it. Same name I use here. Label HTML file. I have given it. Now see, it will work for Telugu as well. Now see, if I click on English, it is coming. If I click on Telugu, that is coming. These are the advantages of using label than using headings or paragraph or span. Now let me try for other also. Likewise, and label HTML, HTML is equal to science. Likewise, social and is equal to social input. HTML for social input given. Now observe here whatever maths I think we haven't written for maths yet. Let me write for maths as well. Now see English, Telugu, Hindi, Thai, Russian. What are the advantages of using label? These are the advantages of using label. What we have done, we have created the label, we have created the input, and through ID and HTML for attributes or props, we have linked it. So if you click on this, that will automatically highlight. That is the advantage. And we have worked on input and we have worked on label. Now we are going to work on these other things as well, like select text area. Button also we have tried. Field set, legend, data list, option of the group. We are going to work on it. Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to uh, I wanted to give an option. I wanted to give an option to choose state. So state means I should have multiple options where I should choose any one of those things. This is called select actually. This is called select. So now I can use that select here. Now let me try it. So now right now I am taking only marks. Now I wanted to create a few more fields like you know uh, first name, last name, age, gender, marital status, um, address, state. Like this, I wanted to create a few more fields. Let me create it here. So I wanted to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more fields I wanted to create. So let me copy paste these things. 7 more fields I have created. So it will show 7 more fields extra here. Now it is showing. Now I wanted to change these things. I wanted to change it to first. I wanted to enter first name. First name I wanted to enter. Then I can change this HTML foreign ID according to this, and then I'm giving last name. Then I wanted to add age, and last name age, gender, age, and then gender, gender, email, marital status, address, state. Email also I can add it. Let me say email, email, then gender, email, marital status, and address and state. Then address. These are the things I wanted to add extra fields. Now, if I see here, first name is showing, last name is showing, age is showing, gender, email, marital status, address, state, and all those things, which is showing. Of course, English is missing. We have to copy that. First name, last name, age, gender, email, marital status, address, state. Now, all these we have worked on it, English, Telugu, Hindi, science, social, maths. Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to allow the option state. Basically, state we use a drop down list, as I said, because that is a predefined list. Predefined list. That means already around 30 states are there. So that we have to select it. Now let me change it. The state, what I will do for that state, I will be instead of using input, I'll use something called select. Use something called select, and inside the select, I'll be giving something called option. Now here I can give the state names. That means, for example, uh, Andaman and Nicobar and one likewise. Andaman and Nicobar Islands have given. Then Assam have given. Or I can give like this. Then that is North India. and then also part of North India. Then East India, Arunachal Pradesh, some Meghalaya, East India, and West India means Goa, Gujarat, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, then North India, Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, I've created these things. Now, if I see here, are you able to see where I can select it? For example, I'll be selecting Maharashtra. So this is the purpose of state where I can choose any of the given values. So here we have used selection, so select, and we have used option. These two we have used it. Now if you see here, we have used select and we have used option. And there is one more is also there called opt group. Opt group means what? Group we can group these things. Now let me show you. You can understand it. Defines a group of related options in a drop down list. So I'm clicking on this. Now you see here, you can create in the select itself. You can create opt group. For that, you can give the label, and in that opt group, you can give the options whatever you wanted. That is opt group actually. That means what? Now what I'll do? I'll create a opt group, and for this opt group, I'll be giving a label. Uh, North India. Likewise, in North India, I'll be adding this Jammu, Himachal, Uttaranchal, Delhi, and Delhi. These four, I will use it here. Now I am copying these options within opt group. Now, if you see the difference here, are you able to see North India is showing? Within that North India, these are there. Within that North India, these are there. Now I wanted to create for East India. Now I'll be creating one more opt group. I'm creating one more opt group. Is I'm adding it inside the second opt group. For this, I am giving the label East India. Likewise, I can create one more of the group. I am giving the label West here, and I'm adding these things in here. And of the label. Now, if you see here, in North India, 4 states, East India, 4 states, West India, 4 states, and South India, 5 states. We have given it. I can select whatever I want. This is what select option and option opt group. Now, I can create one more option at the starting. Like this, I'm just showing like this. So that will be showing here. Now select, if I click on this, now I can choose whatever I want. This is what select is. So now we have covered select, we have covered option, and we have covered opt. Yesterday we have covered label and input. All these are form elements. There are few more are there actually. If you see here, we have covered input, we have covered a label. Input we will go in detail because so many other types are also there. Select we have covered, button we have covered, option we have covered, opt group we have covered. And there is one more is there which is a text area. Text area and input. There are two things actually. This is input where it accepts only one line from the user, and this is actually text area where user can enter multiple lines, and people can use these things particularly like if you wanted to give as comments or address or description. If you have anything which is which needs multi-line, then we can use this text area. Now I am going to use this text area for address. So we already have address here. Now I'll type house number, then area number. It will not accept it because it accepts only single line. First of all, address is of type number is there. I will remove this type number. So it accepts anything. Now it accepts anything. But this is actually not multi-line, it is single line. I want it to be multi-line, so instead of input, I'll use something called the specialty of this text area is it accepts multi-line and it is automatically reusable. Now see, this is multi-line and it's automatically scalable. Scalable means now if you want to can increase that. wanted to enter. Now I'll create like this. I can enter. Understood the difference between input and multi-line text area. Input is single line and text area is multi-line. And we have few more are there. Input we have covered, label we have covered, select we have covered, text area we have covered, button we have covered. Um, Field set and legend. This is also important. The field set and legends are useful to segregate the forms, to segregate, separate the forms. Now you can find it here. Now see field set. Now field set means you have to create a field set. Within that you have to give all your form elements and you have to create a legend. Legend is like the title for that border. Now you see it. Now see, are able to see a border is coming like this, and for that we are giving the text. This is what actually field set and legend. Now I wanted to create something similar. Now here we are accepting personal details and we are accepting academic details. Now I wanted to maintain it separate. So for that what I will do, I'm going to use a field set. Now I'll say field set I'm using it. And all these fields personal, I wanted to add it within a separate fields. Email, address, status, address, state. Up to this, I wanted to maintain it in separate field set. From here, I wanted to maintain another field set. Now, if you see here, are able to see borders are coming, boxes, and I can give titles for these things. So what I will do instead of this H2, I'll just delete this. I'll create something called a legend, and I'll write personal and if I'm just doing and mark details. We can use the same thing for inter first year and inter second year also. Field set and legend. Now see, this is personal details. This is 10th marks details. I have segregated it. This is what actually field set and legend is for. So we have covered input, label, select, text area, button, field set, legend, option, opt group, output we are not going to cover. That is Java. We are going to deal with it. And the one thing, another thing left is this data list. So another thing which is left is data list. Data list is actually, you know, we have something called input where you can type, and we have something called select. Here's something called select, where you can select. This is for typing. This is for selecting. But we have something called a data list. It can do where you can type and at the same time you can select also. That is the difference between these two things, and this data list is a combination of input and this selection. Yes, give me one moment. You can understand it here. Now, this is the input actually where people can type. People can type, whether it is numbers or letters. Actually, for first name and last name, number should not be there. It should accept alphabets also. So we can change the type as a text. Text. I can change it text type. I can change it to text. I can type whatever I want. Is it letters or numbers? No, I'm typing letters. So these are inputs, and here I cannot type, but I can select. This is what I have typed. This is what I have to select. There is one more thing called what is a data list, where you can type as well as you can select both. That is what actually data list is. Now let us try to create this data list. Now see, the data list will be like this. First we will be creating the input, then we will be creating the options in the data list. In this input, either you can type it or you can select any one of these things also. It will automatically suggest you depending upon what you type. That is what actually this is. Now let us try to create it. Let me create one more. Personality, first name, last name, age, and last name. I create one more called telecom operator actually. I create something called telecom operator. Then I am giving this input. Then I am creating something called a data list. And inside this data list, I am creating the option. Data list, I am giving the ID and I am creating the option and the value. So I am creating option and the value I am creating like it's a BSNL. Is one of the options we use. We have actually for telecom operators. BSNL. Now see BSNL, Geo, Airtel, V. These are the four options I have given. For this, I am giving ID operators. Will say operators. And I'll be giving for this input. I'll be giving it as a data list. List basically. List is equal to that ID I'll be giving. List is equal to giving. Now you see the specialty here. I can type and now see telecom operators. If you see, are able to see a small down arrow is coming. If I click on it, are able to see options are showing. Now, if I type J, see only Geo is showing. If I type V, only VI is showing. If I type B, BSNL is showing. Now I don't want to type any of these things. I wanted to type Uninar. So now I can type my own, or I can select any one of the available options. That's what actually data list is. And here, if I remove this, click on it, it is showing 90, which I haven't given, but it is showing still because it is taking the previous values which I have entered also, like from cache. Like while you are typing your email ID, it will automatically suggest your name, right? Your email ID, right? Exactly the same thing. So we have worked on input, label, select, text area, button, field set, legend, data list, option, and opt group. We have worked on it. These are the things we have, but the thing which we haven't worked, you can ignore this output, no problem. And the things we haven't worked is the input. Input actually we can work in detail more. There are so many types are there. For example, let me show you. Now here we are giving age is there. Instead of age, what I will do, I will change that age to uh, date of birth. Change that age to date of birth. Now I wanted to select the date of birth. So here I can give type date. I give type date. Right now we have worked on type number or type text. That's it. So give type date. Now you can see, are able to see DDMMYY is showing. If I click on it, now see, I can choose the date, December 10th, anything. I'll click on this and now I can choose any. Something like this. Now I have selected December 10th, 2016. This is a date of birth. I have given it. Now, not only date of birth, you wanted to give time also, for example. There is a separate type for that. Now, HTML input type, if I go, as I said, we have so many types are there, which I want you to try all these things. Now, we have something called, I have given date only. Now, we have something called date time local. Date time local. Now, I'll say date time local. It's not only shows asks for the date, but it also asks for the time as well. Now let us see. Now if I click on it, now I can select, for example, 2016 December 10th, something, 9, something. Not only date, and we can select time and minutes also. I can select. or else we have another option is also there where you can select only uh, month. Now see, month is there. You can select only month, and we have something called week. You can select only week. Now let me show you just briefly so you can understand it. What I have done, for one I have given date time local, for another I have given just date. One another I have given only month, another I have given only week. Now you can find the difference here. Now see, this is a where I can select a month or uh, date, month, year, hours, minutes. Here only date, month, year only. Here I can select only the month. Which month? You can select it August 2020. Now this is week. Which week you want it? Now I'm selecting 51st week. Like that we can select it. Likewise, we have so many input types are there which I want you to try. Now let me copy all these things and let me paste here. You'll be understanding it. I've pasted all the types of uh, inputs here. Now it naturally shows error because we don't have closing tags here actually. You have to create closing tag for each and everything. Tag I have created. Now I will paste it. Because in JSXML for each and everything we should have closing tag. I'm just showing you for testing purposes. I wanted to try these things. Now we have to select whichever suits to our requirement actually. So there are 20 plus types of inputs are there. Now you see here. So this is button actually. This is checkbox. This is I can give whatever the favorite color I want like that. This is a date, time, local, and normally this is file actually where I can choose a file. Now if I wanted to select any file, yes, I can choose it. See, major file has been selected. This is image. This is a month, number, radio button. This is a range. This is a reset. Everything will be reset. I just want to try this. This is time only. This is week. Right? One is email. So I just want you to try all these input types. And normally we don't use this input type of button because we have separate thing called button. But we use this checkbox more. We use this radio button more. And the submit also, we may not use this. There are other ways which we can do it. Email we use it. Email we use it, and file we use it. We'll be discussing about these things in our next session a bit detail. Mainly, we'll be discussing about check boxes and radio buttons. Okay. So now I want you to try all these things. Even till date, we are working on creation of forms only. Well, after working on creation of forms, we'll be working on validation part. Validation part means if user has entered the value, we will check whether the entered value is valid or invalid. All those things will be checking. Clear? And I want you to try all these input types. Right? Any questions anyone has? We have worked on the forms part 1. We have worked on forms part 2. Today we have worked on different form elements. And tomorrow we'll be working on a bit detail, like we'll be mainly working on radio and checkbox. We'll be working on it. And the file also, we can use it. Actually, you are using file also, while uploading the task, you are selecting something like this only. Choose file and you are selecting the file. That's what you are doing. Okay. I want you to try these different input types. Anyone has any other questions? Now I want you to create your 10th form should have personal details, 10th details should be put it in field set and legend, and into first year and into second year should be put it in field set and legend, and try to use other elements also, like the date of exam, year of passed out, age, date of birth, something like that. You can try it. Today also we are working on form creation only. Later we'll be working on validation.